We got the media team in here. We're the media
We're the
team.
media team. We got content. TV's in the go. We got TV in the go, Wack.
You looking for that fire Clubhouse content? Well, you need to subscribe to the homie. Hey, yo, Clubhouse TV. Let's get to the content.
That's a good one.
Yo, check it out. On this one, we got Wack 100 reacting to Kendrick Lamar label bosses sued for alleged sexual misconduct. So let's get straight to the content. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
In the block.
It's a lawsuit accusing Dawg Entertainment of sexual harassment at Kendrick Lamar's former label. This is the story, y'all. So Dawg Entertainment, TDE, the record label behind major hip-hop artists like Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Schoolboy Q, is facing a lawsuit alleging sexual harassment, assault, and breach of contract. Filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, the lawsuit claims TDE executives fostered a toxic work environment and ignored complaints of misconduct. Two women identified as Jane Does have accused multiple TDE executives and employees of inappropriate behavior. One plaintiff who began working at TDE in 2019 alleges the chief marketing officer, Brandon Tiffith, made unwanted sexual advances and engaged in sexual battery. She also accuses TDE President Anthony Tiffith Jr., son of the label's founder, of ongoing sexual harassment. Additionally, she claims TDE failed to honor a contractual agreement to compensate her for her professional services. The second plaintiff alleges that TDE employees subjected her to multiple instances of sexual harassment and assault on company property. She also claims she was coerced into underage drinking for the purposes of sexual exploitation. Attorney I'm butchering his name, y'all. Shonuk Harp of Arnest Davis Law, representing the plaintiffs, stated the lawsuit presents a glaring example of the systemic abuse and exploitation in the entertainment industry. Our clients trusted TDE to act with integrity and professionalism. Instead, their trust was betrayed in profoundly damaging ways. TDE has yet to publicly respond to the allegations. This lawsuit comes amid a separate legal dispute involving Kendrick Lamar's rival Drake, who is suing Universal Music Group for defamation after Lamar's track "Not Like Us" accused him of cultural appropriation and misconduct. So that's where the article ends in regards to TDE, Dawg Entertainment, y'all. What's the vibe?
That's the problem. And the people know that a lot of people brain, they can't just grab everything, especially with something like that. You got to really read it and break it down. Like everything I heard, I pay attention to one thing. And that whole what's the one thing you never heard that's never touched? And now I know you're reaching. You never heard there was any physical nothing that went on. This first thing I pay attention to. When we pay attention to Diddy and all these others, this got penetrated, this tied up, this is forced oral copulation, you cornered her into the bathroom, this is what we hear, right? So now when you take right here and you really listen to what she's saying, first of all, the problem started, she said she wasn't paid, right?
Right.
Now, so the first question I'm going to ask is, was you contracted directly to TDE or was you somebody that came through temporary agency? It's the first thing I'm going to ask, right? Because if you contracted directly to TDE, that's one thing. But if you come through a temporary agency, I think people get in these environments and start to say, I work for TDE, right? If the temporary agency is R&B Enterprises, and R&B Enterprises calls you Rue and say, hey, we got a temp job over here at Top Dog Entertainment for you to go in here and do this, that, and other. It's gonna pay you $3,000 a month, right? You take the job,
Right.
you go over it, right? You go over there, right? TDE ain't gonna pay you a thing. Cause TDE might be getting charged $4,200 a month from R&B Enterprises, right? The contract is from R&B Enterprises to TDE, and R&B Enterprises has subcontracted and sent you as the worker. So now I want to know: was you directly contracted to TDE, or was you contracted through another entity in which TDE paid and maybe they didn't pay you, right?
Right.
So first, I haven't heard no physical contact on the sexual assault or none of that. Two, we don't know if you was contracted directly to TDE or an entity at TDE had a contract and you been subcontracted out. Three, you didn't put no dollar amount. See, ordinarily when a person don't include a dollar amount because they may be owed $278, but they know if they put that down there, people gonna look at it like, what are you talking about? Is that a discrepancy in some hours or some shit? Right? Because if owed a person 100,000, 20,000, 50,000, 1,000, 5,000, they're gonna put that in there. Right? I don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
Three, you mentioned everybody but the founder, which is who we know as Top Dog, right? So everybody else I see you mention are people that he's positioned within his companies. Four, you're saying you were coerced into drinking alcohol. Now, here goes the problems with open studio sessions. See, when you walk through the door, immediately to the right, there's always this little stand, and it got a tray on it. And on the tray, right, is usually liquors, Red Bulls, and juices, and little mints, and peanuts, and standard, right? Now, when people come into the studio, right, anybody can go over there and get a water, get a Red Bull, pour a shot or whatever. Nobody's really paying attention to this shit. I'm just gonna be real with you. So when I hear you say you were coerced, I'm not hearing you saying this individual brought me some liquor and I was underage. Are you saying you were coerced because you were in a studio environment and you
Mm-hmm.
chose to go over there and pour yourself a drink? Another thing, if she was 15, 16, 17, or 19, I think her age would have been included because now it makes it look even worse. See, when they
Mm-hmm.
leave certain out, it's because it sounds better, right? Without putting in there the 20-year-old such and such and such and such in the month of May, although going to be 21 in July, right? See, whenever it's up, they're going to give you all the details because they want you to know it's up. When they came out against Diddy, they said 13-year-old. They didn't just say female was attacked. They gave her age. They gave all this shit. The other lady they supposed to flew in, they said 16-year-old, right? R. Kelly, they gave you an age. They weren't playing no games. So now we want to know, how old was she? Did she voluntarily go get the liquor that was over there? Because I believe at the age of 20, right, or even 19, that you know what you're supposed to be doing and shouldn't be doing.
That's a
Are they
fact.
guilty? Are they guilty of having a security guard not standing over there by this tray, right? Because somebody have came in there that may want to take advantage of what's accessible, right? Are we gonna treat the liquor bottle as a firearm in a home around children? If that's what we gonna do, that's your narrative you want to run. That got to be your narrative. But I believe a person at a certain age, right? And I'm gonna personally tell myself, anybody from 18 on know what they supposed to be doing and not
Right.
supposed to be doing.
But they trying to
Straight
say
up.
that they were coerced into
But
drinking.
I'm saying, but okay,
Mm-hmm.
they never said they were offered. They never said
Right.
they were forced, right? So now we
Mhm.
gotta ask ourselves, are you playing games, word games, right?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
if you were forced, right, your ass would say that, right? You
Right.
would said I was forced, or I was offered,
Yeah,
right?
because she said that she was that she described an incident where she was coerced
Okay.
into consuming alcohol
Now I'm
while
gonna tell you
underage.
why that is a strong word,
Right.
right? That says an unwilling person to do
Mhm.
something by use of force and threats,
Right.
right? So that means somebody forced you or threatened you, if you don't do this or else, or here you better do this, right?
That's what they said.
Now
Mhm.
if that's the case, because of people like Scott Storch's ex-wife baby mama,
Mm.
let me slow it down. Because of people like Scott Storch's ex-wife baby mama Flo, who will call all kind of racist slurs and then double back and say, I apologize, but I only did it because he groped me.
Mm.
And then see the video comes out that the individual you say groped you was nowhere behind you, was always 4 or 5 feet away from you, and really tossed the keys at you because he didn't want to have nothing to do with you. And because you see a visual is out, now you're forced to come out and say, I lied,
Mhm.
right? So now let me double back to this. You say you were coerced, which means you were threatened and forced. You got to show us that. You got to show us where you was threatened and where you was forced. How long ago did this happen? Where were you when this happened?
Right.
You notice we never heard anything about his text message communications, or she received phone calls about this, that, or the other. So now we got to make sure this is maybe, are you one of the individuals that maybe was working there and on the 89th day, like temporary agency does, maybe let you go and you maybe tried to double back because you felt everything was buddy buddy. They might have gave you a few compliments here and there because technically you grown if you're over a certain age, and maybe the offer wasn't extended or the opportunity wasn't extended, and you sat back and a couple years later you got mad. We want to know. It's too many holes in it. We want to know. We want to know where you were when this happened. We want to know if you were amongst other people. We want to know, did somebody force you or threaten you to drink liquor? It never says no physical anything happens sexually. So we just want to know, right? I see this and I think it should be some type of law against this. They got Jay-Z the same way. They got Jay-Z. This attorney, when it filed this, didn't even investigate it, talk to the father or nothing. Files it. When Jay-Z's team go investigate it, the father comes out and says it's a complete lie. She was 13 that year, and we live 5 hours away. There's no way I would be dropping her off and picking her up 5 hours away. I don't recall any of this happening. If the attorneys would have went and investigated, would you have announced against this man's name? Or even called this dude and tried to extort him and say for this amount it can go away. So it's just some holes in it. We wanna know where you were at, how old you were. Was it an open bar situation?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We wanna know these things, right? If did they force you? Did they pull a gun on you? Did he put his hands around? Did he grab you by your shoulder? Right? Did he corner you in a room by yourself? And I believe if these were the things that actually happened, they would have included these details. They wouldn't have left them out. So we
Mm.
want to know: were you 18? Were you 20? Was you 19? We know you wasn't 21.
Well,
You
they
can't
said
be
it happened in
21.
2019.
But we
So
don't know. We don't know how. Okay, how old is she today?
That's what I don't know.
We
I don't
can't do
know.
the math.
Right.
So this is 2019. So we talking 6 years ago.
Because it says the first plaintiff began working at TDE in 2019 and accuses Chief Marketing Officer Brandon Tiff of approaching her with unwanted sexual advances
Okay,
and
now
sexual
stop.
battery.
Okay, battery. So that means he put his hands on you. Okay,
Smacked
maybe.
some butt. He smacked the butt, touched the arm, held her by her hand or
What did he do?
anything.
It could have been any of that, but
It
it
could have been
doesn't
a
No,
say
yeah.
but what I'm saying, they give no description
at
of
all.
what.
Yeah.
Right? When I did some foul, will walk up on you and spit in your face, you're gonna say, "I was assaulted," and well, okay, he spit in my face.
Right.
They gonna say it. So it's just lacking a whole lot of right? It's just lacking a whole lot of things that we need to know. Okay, 2019. How old were you then?
Right.
You say you wasn't paid. Were you contracted directly with TDE or were you through a temp agency? Right? Um, or were you somebody else's assistant that was placed there? Like, what we just need to know. You were coerced. So who forced what? Where were you? What was the environment? Were you in a car? Where were you at? Or you at a listening party? Were you in the studio? Like, we just need to know. We ain't saying you're lying. We just saying there's a whole lot of holes in the story on what you're talking about.
And why do they
And
get to
it,
remain like Jane Does in these cases? I don't like that, bro. That shit is
that's
Well,
another
crazy.
thing. That's another thing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because TDE probably sitting around saying, "Who is this?"
But this the
They
thing.
don't know.
If you can remain a Jane Doe, right? A lot of these times when these things happen and they remain as Jane Does, a lot of the times these things get thrown out, right? But the public perception is still in these people's
There
mind
you
about
have
the
it.
person who got accused. That right?
Now here goes
but
the thing.
but it
You
says
know
that
this is nothing about it criminal. It's
right.
all civil.
And she said that she's accusing because the Jane Doe uh wasn't paid for her professional services or some shit like that.
So
Okay,
she's
so what
suing
am I
about some
worth?
money, basically.
What
Yeah,
am
she
I
said
worth?
she's saying that the complaint is accusing the TDE for failing to honor a contract between its president and the first Jane Doe to pay her for her professional services. So
Okay,
whatever services
so
she's
now
providing.
were you contracted directly again by TDE?
Yeah, that's what it's
Right.
saying.
Okay, so where's the contract? Where's the documentation? Was
Right.
it verbal? Was it a handshake? Was it a verbal say, hey, I got $1,000, you can do this, and you came and you didn't fulfill your obligation? What was it?
Mm.
What was it? It's a whole lot of holes. We hear the accusation. It's a few things we need to know. A, do you have a contract? If so, where is it at? B, how much money were you owed and how much money were you paid, if any? C, coercion. Were you forced? Who forced you? Where were you at? Were you amongst people? Were you by yourself? Was it an open studio? It's just there? When we order food, whatever it is, it come in, we put that shit on the table, niggas grab what they grab, niggas is out.
Well, they said the second plaintiff said that she alleged multiple instances of sexual harassment and assault by TDE employees while on TDE property and under their control.
Okay, now here go the bullshit. So now they're saying, well, it wasn't necessarily that I was supposed to been there, but the location was their property.
Basically. Yep.
So, yeah, I was outside smoking a blunt or a cigarette, and somebody said this or did this. Okay, who was this somebody? You say employees. How do you know they're employees?
Mm.
You know they ain't just some niggas that showed up with some niggas. I mean, these are things we need to know. I mean, we listening to you. We see your gripes and complaints. We just need to know these details. Give them to us. If we're going to talk about it, then let's talk about it. Because right now, it's kind of like Ghost just said. You Jane Doe yourself, throw it out there, and then when the legal people come to the table and they say, well, nothing's here, and then y'all go away, but yet the perception of it is still there on these people in their company. And you been Jane Doe.
Clubhouse TV. Clubhouse TV. Clubhouse TV.
Check it out, y'all's Clubhouse TV. And on this one, we're going to break it down regarding TDE, who is the powerhouse label that gave us Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, and SZA. They're now facing a lawsuit alleging sexual misconduct. Now, the details are still emerging, but from what's being reported, a former associate has accused a high-ranking member of inappropriate behavior and a toxic work environment. Now, this is a big deal because TDE has always had a reputation for keeping things in-house and avoiding major controversies. But with legal action being taken, this situation is about to be put under a major spotlight. And of course, when something this big happens in the industry, Wack 100 is going to speak on it. Now, you already know Wack keeps his ear to the streets, and as soon as this news broke, he had something to say. On a recent Clubhouse session in the morning show this morning, Wack didn't hold back. He questioned the timing of the lawsuit and even suggested it might be a money grab attempt. He straight up said, why now? Why wait till TDE's at the top before throwing these allegations? But at the same time, Wack kept it real and acknowledged that if the claims are true, then whoever's responsible needs to be held accountable. He made it clear that the real ones don't move like that and that the industry has no room for that type of behavior. However, he also warned people not to jump to conclusions too quickly, saying we've seen this before. Allegations fly, reputations get ruined, and sometimes it don't even have the facts behind it. Wack is basically saying let's wait for the receipts before making any final judgments. So what's next, y'all? Well, TDE hasn't made an official statement yet, but you better believe they're going to have to respond soon. If this case moves forward, it could impact not just the label, but the artists associated with it as well. As for Wack, he's keeping an eye on how things unfold. If more details come out, you already know he'll have more to say. And the internet will be watching every move, and Clubhouse TV will be right there with the news for y'all. But I want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this content in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're always alerted as I drop fresh new content. Also, subscribe to the media team so you always get that exclusive Wack 100 content. As always, I certainly appreciate y'all for checking out Clubhouse TV, and I'm on to the next one. I'll meet you there.